素直に I love you 届けようきっと You love me 伝わるさ君に合うガラスの靴を探そう二人で Step and Go
And this is the final part of Activity 3 for our current paper, which is Martlepool College LFC. This is the report. You can see the report ends up being pretty minimal. There's not much to it. Here's the design view. So let's just expand this. Windows Shift S to get a screenshot. The design view is really small. In fact, there are no calculations needed in the report at all. It's all from a query. So let's get started. So we are creating a report which shows stats for each player who's played in more than one position. That's going to be sorted out in the query. You couldn't sort that out in the report. So the query is going to do that more than one position. We're going to have a title. We're going to display surname, initial, date of birth. We're going to calculate and display the number of positions they've played in, which will be more than one because it should be people who have played in more than one position. That's a big deal, played in more than one position. So the number of positions will be more than one, by definition, if our report's working properly. The best rating they've achieved, that's going to be a max, the max rating. Oh, it actually depends. Will it be the min? It depends on how this works. So let's double check. Always read the exam paper, Martlepool College. When we read the exam paper, 1 is the highest rating. So yeah, that is going to be actually a min. If I'm allowed to delete it, access. I'm apparently not allowed to delete that. So there we go, finally. So that will actually be a min because 1 is the highest rating. So don't just run in like a bull in a china shop and assume 5 is best. Do check the exam paper, which clearly says 1 is the highest rating. Let's show that again. 1 is, so statistics are recorded. You get a rating. The rating must be at least 1 and no higher than 5, and 1 is the highest rating. So that is how we know that. And the total number of yellow cards, which is just going to be a sum again. We just did that for query B. So that is like testing this. It's a bit unfair, really, testing the same skill. So if you can do it, you can do it twice. If you can't do it, you've lost the marks twice. And we need a query, and in fact, the query will do all the heavy lifting, every calculations in this query. Query design. So we'll call this query for report, and I've already got one, so I'll call it query for report 2. And we're going to add in, because we need surname, initial, date of birth, and stuff about their stats in their position, we're going to have player and player stats. Just make that big enough for the examiner to see everything. We're going to have player ID, player initial, player surname, because we do need surname and initial, as you can see, it's right there in the question. We're going to have their date of birth, so player date of birth, we're asked for that. And then we're going to work out, we need to put totals on for calculations. We're going to count the number of positions they had. We are going to have the best rating, which is a minimum, and we're going to have number of yellow cards, which is a sum. So we need to add in, first of all, number of positions. So number of positions, which is position ID. And that is going to be a count for those people that have multiple positions. How do I make sure they have multiple positions? Here, I put in a criteria of over 1. If I don't put in that criteria, I get people who have had 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All these people shouldn't be in here because create a report that shows stats for each player who's played in more than one position. So I want to get rid of these people. I want to get rid of Hernandez, Johnson, Morris, Meek, Zhang, and Taylor, and only leave Islam and Garcia. So if I put in greater than 1 there, done. I've only got the 2 people who've played in more than one position. Great. Just double click there as before in the previous query video. When we make queries, we want to double click here to expand the columns. And then we're going to have the best rating. We're asked to give the best rating, player position rating. And because ratings go from 1 to 5, with 1 being the best, we turn that into min. I explained that earlier. So now we've got their best rating. Islam's not doing too great with a best rating of 4 when 5 is the worst. Garcia is doing well with a best rating of 1, with 1 being the best. Double click there to expand that for the marker. And here we will type in number yellow cards, player position yellow cards, and we will count them. No, not count them, we will sum them. I explained the previous video. Count counts the number of rows on the data sheet. Sum counts the numbers in the rows. So we get Islam 17, the yellow cards. That might be why they're rated so low, maybe. There we go. We're going to take pictures of, for this report, we will take pictures of our query data sheet and design view. So we'll take a picture of this whole thing here. There we go. That would be our picture of the design view, Windows Shift S. That would be enough. Take a picture of the data sheet view, put that in activity3.rtf, and then we would make our report. Let's do that right now. Close this, save it, create report wizard from query for report 2, move it all across. There we go. In my answer document, I explain everything we're doing and why, and I link it to the question, as you can see on the left here. This is available on Teams, this answer. And if you bought this pack on Times Education website, it's available with the video links. So make this report wizard, make the report from the query, add in all the fields you can see, and we're basically finished. We just need to make it prettier. It will be, we don't need any grouping, I believe, at all now. Let's double check. I'll make it again if it goes wrong. No, this is right. This is correct. So player ID, we can get rid of that. Don't need to have that in. We won't ask for that. We were asked for player initial, so we'll put a space there. So player initial now has a space in it. Move it across, move these underneath. Player surname has a space in it. There we go. Those are a bit wide, so squash those up. Player date of birth. Put a space in there. You're never going to make forms beautiful. Access isn't a beautiful thing, so just live with it. Number of player positions, so number of positions, put spaces in. Highest rating, best rating, which remember is a min command because the best rating is 1. This isn't taking very long. And number of yellow cards. Move these across a little bit, and that is literally almost completely done. We just changed that to report on players with more than 1 position. So we take that from the question. Create a report that shows stats for players in more than 1 position. So you could call it stats for players with more than 1 position, report on players, something like that. Or you could personalize it a bit more. You can double click here, open the property sheet. Go on access. You want to open the property sheet. Okay, do it there. Click on that. I can change this label here. I can change the color and so on. Personalize it a touch more. Don't spend long doing this. Just a little touch will do. Put it in the center. And that literally here is our final report. It really is that easy. The queries and everything. Right click, export. You need to save it as a PDF. There are naming rules. Activity 3D. Underscore your registration number on the day, underscore surname, underscore first letter. And you will submit for activity 3 the template where you took the screenshots of everything, data sheet and design view, for example, for your queries. And you'll also show the design of the report as well. And make sure when you've got an exam paper that needs grouping, this one didn't, you do show the grouping. And save your database report also. This, right click and export. So you'll save, you'll turn to PDF, name and save your activity3.rtf template and this report, and that will be this query done. Perhaps this report, this is probably the easiest report I have ever seen for any exam paper. We've done it in 10 minutes. I hope you found that useful. Next up will be activity 4 and 5 to finish part A for this paper.
いつまでも深夜12時を過ぎたって君は僕の愛しい24時間